chemistry fairs and stuff like that. And so, one year she made me into the science fair, and I was just like, no, I did not want to have to do a science project. But I was really trying to convince my mom at that time to let me drink protein shakes after my workouts and stuff. And I was like 11, 12, or 13, something like that. And she wasn't letting me. And so I was like, well, I do a science project on protein shakes, and I do a good job. Will you let me drink them? She was like, we'll see. So I did the science project, and I actually won first place in the city. And she finally let me drink protein shakes. So it was pretty cool that you can pursue your passions with also learning. So it was fun.
Another easy one here. This is from Unknown. I guess they were too nervous or too shy. If you weren't a pro athlete, what career path would you take?
Yeah, that's a very good question. I loved baseball growing up, and that was actually probably my best sport growing up. One of the hardest decisions I ever had to make was after my senior year of football was whether I was going to stay in school, because I graduated early, whether I was going to stay in school and play basketball and baseball, and maybe choose the route of baseball, going professionally or going to college for baseball, or go to the University of Florida early and enroll in that January. And I decided to go early to Florida because football was my biggest passion, but baseball was probably my best sport, so maybe it would be playing baseball.
Okay. Now we're probably going to ask you the hardest question of the day. We're going to get it out of the way right now. David Galbraith, as much as you do know or do not know about the University of Montana and Montana State University, if you had to choose a program, which school would you choose and why?
I'm hearing everything down here. Well, I have to be honest. The only team that had actually seen play was Montana, because I saw them play in the playoffs last year. But I did hear at lunch that one of the players on the Patriots was from Montana State. So
Dane Fletcher! Woo!
I would have to look deeper into it before I conclude with my decision.
Nice, politically correct decision. Very good. Principal Apted. Is that correct? Apted? All right. What could you tell us about how to stay strong in the Lord while enduring persecution, such as name-calling and slamming you in the media?
Well, I think number one thing for me is when you stand up for something, is when you believe in something, especially your faith. Sometimes people might criticize you. Sometimes people might criticize you, sometimes people might want to knock you, but eventually they're going to respect you, because if you're not wishy-washy, if you're not back and forth, if it's who you are as a person and you're real and you're genuine about it, and it's just who you are, then eventually I believe people will respect you for that. Even people that have different beliefs, they can respect you because you stand firm in what you believe, and it's who you are as a person. And for me, that's something that I really try to take a lot of pride in, is it's not just me when I get up and speak. It's not just, you don't just sometimes get Tim Tebow the football player, or sometimes Tim Tebow the person, or my foundation. No, when you get one, you get it all, because the person is the person that is following Jesus Christ, and it is a football player, and it's the same person all the time. And that's something I take a lot of pride in, is just always trying to be real and genuine, and letting my faith just be part of my life.
Okay, on that subject, Brent DeGarmo asked, how does your day begin? Do you have a favorite devotional or book that you start with?
Well, obviously my favorite book would probably be the Bible. There are a lot of great devotionals. The Purpose-Driven Life is one of my favorites. But for me, it's getting in the Word early in the day to get your day off right. And then something else that was huge for me was also having accountability partners, people that you can talk to every day, people that you can talk to about what you're going through, what you're dealing with. And for me, this past season, I would have one of my buddies I would talk to every morning at 5 o'clock on the way into work, and every night on the way back. And I could talk about what I was reading in the scriptures, what I'm dealing with, what I'm going through. So all those things. And I think it's huge for people to be able to talk about what you're meditating on or talk about what you're going through. And that's been something that's huge for me, to have someone that's really close that you always know has your back and you can talk about with them.
All right. Kevin Alexander asks, is there any division on your team because of your outspoken faith? Is there any division on the Broncos team because of your outspoken faith?
No, not really. We have some awesome leaders and some awesome Christian leaders like Brian Dawkins and Shane Bailey and a bunch of guys like that. And those guys are, they're leaders on our team because of who they are as men and how they lead and how they play. And it just happens to also be that they're Christians. And so, for us, we had a really close team this year. I think that's one of the reasons why we're able to be successful at the end of the year, is because we had great camaraderie, great chemistry, and I really think you can see that in games because we were rooting for each other. You can see the offense rooting for the defense and rooting for the special teams. And if you look at the pass where Demaryius Thomas catches it and scores versus Steelers to win the game, you see Champ Bailey almost running on the field. He's on the sidelines, and he's running down the sidelines trying to catch DT to celebrate. You don't find a lot of 11-time All-Pro quarterbacks, one of the best of all time, is that passionate about the game and that fired up. And I think that was just what's so special about our team this year, is how close we were.
Awesome. My partner Craig Wisconsin asks, so what has been the biggest struggle living the Christian life as a pro athlete?
Well, that's a good question. I think for each person, you have different struggles and different temptations and different obstacles that you're trying to overcome. I think for me, my biggest prayer, and something that I take as a huge responsibility, is being a role model, is being someone that a mom or a dad can look at their son or daughter and say, you know what, that's someone that's trying to do it the right way. That's someone that's not perfect, but he's trying to be a good role model. He's trying to do what's right, do his best, and treat others the way he wants to be treated. He's someone that that is taking that responsibility. And something that's really frustrating for me is, a lot of times you'll hear celebrities or athletes say, I don't want to be a role model. You are a role model, you just might not be a good one. And that's frustrating for me because so many athletes and celebrities, you are role models. And also for a lot of you here, you're role models. Because if there's a son or a daughter or a friend or a neighbor looking at you, that makes you a role model. And that gives you a platform, it gives you someone that you can influence. And I think if we all thought about the people that we could influence, and we thought about how we're affecting them, then I think we would be a lot better at what we do.
Outstanding. This question is for me. What did you think of the SNL skit?
I honestly, I knew it was creating a lot of a buzz and everything, and I didn't watch it. I hadn't seen it for months, and I finally saw it, and I guess some of it was pretty funny. A little bit of it was probably over the top, but I was actually talking to one of the guys a few weeks ago who played Jesus in the skit, and he was like, oh, no offense, man, I know you were and everything. And I was like, no problem, whatever. But it's just, I think for me, even though sometimes you're making fun of it or T-bowing or whatever they do, at least it's pretty cool because at least now they're talking about praying or they're talking about Jesus Christ. And if they're talking about
absolutely
it, pretty cool.
Absolutely. How many times is Jesus Christ on Saturday night? Okay, let's get back to football. John Anthony, looking across the line, who demands the most respect as a quarterback? Is there anyone you're nervous to play against?
That's a good question.
I imagine Ray Lewis, huh?
Yeah, Ray Lewis is definitely intimidating going against him. Although he's been someone that's been very encouraging and supportive of me, he comes quite a bit to encourage me and just say, keep doing what you're doing, don't listen to the critics, don't listen to haters, and all that. So he's actually been on my side a lot, and it's been great to have his encouragement. I think one of the biggest guys playing against that is a really good player was Vince Wilfork. For the Patriots. He got me a few good times the last game we played in the playoffs. And I mean, when they say that he weighs like 340 or 350, like in your program, that's so not true. He's so much closer to 400.
House on top of you. John also follows up, after football, what career path do you want to take? Where do you see yourself in 10 years from now? And do you see yourself as a missionary or a pastor?
Well, hopefully, my goal is in 10 years I'll still be playing for the Broncos. I do look at football as a career, something that is great, but something that's going to end. But it's not what I want to do with my life. What I want to do with my life is be a great role model, set a great example, and is what I want to do with my foundation. And something that I'm so proud about. We're in the middle of building a hospital in the Philippines right now. We're building 18 Timmy's playrooms attached to hospitals, 11 of them here in the United States and 7 of them in third world countries. We support a little over 600 orphans, and that's honestly my biggest joy. And it's what my mission statement says, to bring faith, hope, and love to those needing a brighter day in the darkest hour of need. And that's honestly what I want to do with my